Hello. We are back at it again. Another movie review. Okay, here's the thing, right? One of the things that everybody who's, you know, listening to this channel and whatever should know about me is that I am really into space, right? I think space is cool. I think space is fascinating. I think the whole idea of it is awesome. Just like how I think the whole idea of like Disney is awesome. Like, cool places that they, theme parks and the branding, family friendly, all of it's awesome. Um, Now, how did I, you know, become like this? I can't really say, even though I've seen this movie, Interstellar, and I'm a really big into Star Wars and stuff, and I love Cowboy Bebop. I can't really say that those things were what made me be really into space, but there's a stipulation there because Cowboy Bebop, right? Amazing show. I watched that show a lot, and I think with the amount of times I've watched it, and like I said, one of the things that always gravitates me towards any franchise or IP is like, do I want to live in this world? Do I want to live in this universe? Is if the answer is yes, like I would love to live in the Star Wars universe, even though it's probably be war inflicted all the time, and I would love to live in the Cowboy Bebop universe. And even though I just said I can't say Cowboy Bebop is the reason I'm really into space, I think in the back of my mind, maybe I just have not convinced myself, but like I think in the back of my mind, Cowboy Bebop has led me to be so fond of the idea of like a foundry, like a space station just above Earth, or being able to go from one planet to the other where there's human civilizations and stuff like that. And Cowboy Bebop. None of you guys have ever seen that, or if you have seen that, it makes it seem like all these planets are just they would be so easy to like inhabit or conquer or like terraform once you get there. Um, that being said, oh, also just keep in mind when I say I'm into space and space exploration, I'm only interested in space exploration within the Milky Way, like which is our solar system. Nothing else. I don't care about anything else. I just care about this realm of existence. Why? I have my reasons. Now, Interstellar, made by Christopher Nolan, starring Matthew McConaughey, is a really, really very, very highly ranked movie. I would honestly say that it's probably one of the top in the top 100 or maybe even top 10 best movies made of the 2010s. Um, Solely because of how everybody talks about it and also why I think of it, what I think about it. Um, the cast is pretty good. It has Anne Hathaway in it, who's always a gem of an actress, and Matthew McConaughey is definitely perfectly casted in this role too. Interstellar, you know, the guy leaves his family to go um, advance like human expansion and for the greater good of like because the planet's dying or whatever. There's something happening. My mind's fuzzy. And Interstellar. It when I think of this movie, I'm like, I had to think to myself, like, this had to have been a fun movie to shoot. And it also had to have been like a movie that probably took a lot of like meticulous, in particular, like um, problem solving in terms of like how these things would go about and like what would actually realistically happen in space travel. And I think it kind of toes the line perfectly between like sci-fi and like um what's the other thing? There's nothing fictional about this. I mean, the planets are fictional, so no, I digress. Let me concede my sin. Like it's a perfect like sci-fi adventure movie. Would it be classified as a sci-fi adventure or sci-fi thriller? Sci-fi drama. I think it'd be sci-fi drama just because of like how the ending happens and all this stuff. Um, Now I will say, as much as I do like this movie, I was always like half baked about the ending. I'm not saying I didn't like it, but I'm also saying I did like it because the ending was kind of like it was it was is odd the right word? I don't think odd's the right word. I just think to me, some people who have seen this movie might find this very strange what I'm about to say, but like when I think of the ending of Interstellar, I feel like that was not I'm not saying that was not supposed to be the ending, but I feel like in my opinion, I feel like it wasn't supposed to end there. And I'm not saying that in speculation of like that there was something cut. I'm just saying like I feel like I would have wanted more post after the whole hospital scene. No spoilers. Cause I don't know. I'm really this is like the this is the only movie the really thing that's really puzzling about this movie and why I have a really interesting relationship with this movie is this is the only time that I've ever like explicitly said I don't know how I feel about this ending because usually I'm very absolutist or I'm very clear cut of like if whether I like the movie's ending or not of all the movies I've ever seen because endings usually make or break the movie for people. But like this ending didn't break it for me because I still like the movie and it's a great journey and all this stuff. But like I'm just like I don't know how I feel about that ending. I feel like there should have been more added to it. Maybe Christopher Nolan can come out with like a director's cut and like just make more. But I doubt he would ever do that. Interstellar. I like the science element of it. I like the talk. Actors really, you know, get elevated or really like propel when they're given the opportunity to like improvise and like improvise in a way that's like um very them. And then when you're doing that with another actor and then you're both like have like displaying this dichotomy of like how your characters are different and like what the conflicts are, the conflicts of interest and what the motivations are or the character arcs. Interstellar is a really, really fun movie. Now, if you've ever seen this movie, um, a lot of people, when they talk about Christopher Nolan movies, they talk about Inception, they talk about Interstellar, they talk about, I mean, more recent stuff like Tenet or whatever that war movie was. I'm not really into history movies, but Interstellar is a movie that I confidently could say, even though I don't know how I feel about the ending, is probably Christopher Nolan's best movie. Now, could you say Inception is the best movie? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could. But this, I think Interstellar was one of those movies, and this is like what? It came out what year? Let me look it up real quick. I think 2014. Yeah, 2014. 11 years ago, dang. But Interstellar was one of those movies where like driving to the movie theater got really excited about seeing it. So because it's either like that or it's like, you're going to see the sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm not saying you're not excited, but you're going to see it. Or it's like some big event, like how Star Wars was in like the 2000s. Um, and when the water planet was really cool. I liked the spaceship design. Um, oh, another thing that's really interesting about Interstellar. Interstellar made me think. It was the first time I ever thought that like a sense of direction when you're in space. Because like when you think of space, obviously, you think of getting off the planet, and then you're when you like I don't know if you guys ever seen Star Wars or like how the ships interact, but like they're always like um perpendicular from each other. So like if they're both face, they're all you know the tops of them are both facing the top ways, and the sides of them are always facing the sideways. But when I was thinking Interstellar, I was like, wouldn't being in space mean that you could like your sense of direction wouldn't always be synonymous with like whatever other um you know individual object would be, like if there's two spaceships, one spaceship is moving this way, one spaceship is moving that way. It's like, what is upside down, what is right side up? And it's like, that's the first time I ever thought about that, was when I was watching Interstellar. And still to this day I still think about that stuff, because like I would like to go to space just for the fun of it, but I would also like to come back here because I would like to die here. um, so Interstellar, when I think of the criticisms, you know, I so there's two things I don't like about this movie. I don't like Matt Damon's character, and I understand why he's there because bad drama. I also didn't like what's his name. I don't like the castings of the kids. I don't know, something about it just seems like I'm like kind of like, okay, go back to the other characters. Like, not saying they're bad actors, they're definitely not. It's just like I'm not really fond of like, not that they're not talented. Don't get me wrong. It's just some actors I'm just like, okay, next. But besides that, the score was really good. Hans Zimmer always doing what Hans Zimmer does, and yeah, the spaceship was cool. The suits were cool. I wish someone would have like really really just got a fight, like someone like just imagine like a fist fight on like the spaceship to the point where like they're trying to like unalive each other. Now clearly Matt Damon's character kind of does that, but like I am talking about like the people who are clearly friends and clearly on the same mission. um I think my favorite part of the movie is like when they're going on that water planet, and before they go they say they have to be there for only a certain amount of time before like they lose, like because it will be like if they're on the water planet for like more than 30 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever, that the guy in the spaceship, he'll be on there for like, what was it, like 3 years or something like that. It was bizarre. I thought that part was cool. And yeah, so if I had to rate it out of 10, Interstellar is ooh, am I about to give it a lower score than Leech's Back in Action? Yep, I am. We're using our free will. um I'm gonna give it a 8 out of 10. Why? I don't have to explain why, but it's an 8 out of 10 for Interstellar.